Is all new. CBS next Monday, 10/9 Central.
Snow showers will continue for the balance of the night, mainly east of Marquette. We'll have more weather details coming up.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Kevin Hodge. Tonight on your WZMQ 19 News, military plans are leaked in a group chat between high-ranking officials and a media outlet. We'll have the latest. Plus, the Negaunee Public Library is raising the alarm over funding cuts due to a recent executive order signed by President Trump. And the Marquette County Board of Commissioners recently updated its off-road vehicle ordinance. We'll tell you about the changes. Your 19 News at 11 starts now.
Live from the UP, this is WZMQ 19 News at 11.
Checking out the weather for Marquette for Tuesday, mainly cloudy here. Some leftover light snow and flurries, better chances east toward Munising and Newberry there, where maybe another ½ inch to an inch possible here. But temperatures getting close to freezing. Pretty brisk winds as well, so bundle up if you're heading outside there. And we'll keep again. See, I got the snow bands, the snow icons here from Munising and out toward Newberry as high temperatures get close to that 30-degree mark. Rest of the forecast later in the show. Kevin?
Tom, thank you. A federal appeals judge says Nazis detained in the U.S. during World War II were treated better than Venezuelan migrants deported last week, and the White House has admitted to a significant security breach. Erica Brown has the latest from Washington.
Highly sensitive military plans about this U.S. offensive on Houthi rebels in Yemen were shared in an encrypted but unsecured group chat ahead of the attack. On the text chain, 18 people, including Vice President J.D. Vance, Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth, and National Security Advisor Mike Waltz, who accidentally invited journalist Jeffrey Goldberg to the chat. The editor-in-chief for The Atlantic published a story about the security breach Monday.
I found it completely improbable that the top national security leadership of the United States would be discussing on a commercial messaging app the possible imminent attack on another country, and that they would mistakenly, I assume mistakenly, invite the editor-in-chief of The Atlantic magazine into their discussion.
A National Security Council spokesman says the text chain on the messaging app Signal appears to be authentic. The app is not approved for sharing classified information. President Trump weighed in hours after the report.
I know nothing about it. You're saying that they had what?
Late Monday, Secretary Hegseth pushed back on the report, calling Goldberg, quote, deceitful.
Nobody was texting war plans, and that's all I have to say about that. Thank you.
Top Democrats are demanding an investigation.
It's bad enough that a private citizen was added to this chain, but it's far worse that sensitive military information was exchanged on an unauthorized application.
The Trump administration was also back in court Monday appealing a federal judge's order that temporarily blocked the controversial deportation of Venezuelan migrants to El Salvador. U.S. District Judge James Boasberg ruled that the Venezuelan migrants were entitled to due process. During an appeals hearing, one judge argued Nazis detained in the U.S. during World War II received better legal treatment than the migrants deported to El Salvador. The appeals panel has not yet issued a ruling.
The Trump administration is also asking the Supreme Court to halt a ruling order the rehiring of thousands of federal workers recently fired. A recent executive order could shape the future of Michigan public libraries and the services they offer. WZMQ's Andrew Hands has reaction from the Negaunee Public Library.
On March 14th, President Trump signed an executive order that would eliminate the Federal Institute of Museum and Library Services. The IMLS funds the Michigan Electronic Library, as well as an interlibrary loan service that allows for libraries to send materials to each other. Negaunee Public Library Director Jessica Holman says if funding is cut, libraries could potentially lose easy access to millions of items currently available.
It's still rather overwhelming to think that our amazing interlibrary loan system, and statewide databases could be lost.
The defunding of the Michigan Electronic Library is a major concern due to its easy accessibility. The program offers all Michigan residents free access to online articles, full textbooks, and digital images at any time. In 2024 alone, over 19 million online resources were used by students through MEL.
The Michigan Electronic Library is celebrating 20 years, so it's really ironic that we could be losing it with the loss of federal funding. I think a lot of people use it and don't realize what it is.
In Michigan, these programs are provided with a hard return of $27 per tax dollar. This makes it much easier for libraries to afford their materials from other libraries or external sources.
Just today, I was talking to one of my vendors on the phone and said, I can't commit to buying the books that you're offering at a good discount right now because I don't know what funding I'm going to need to reallocate for interlibrary loan service if we lose the federal funding.
Libraries across the country continue to advocate for the Institute and the services it has provided for years. In Negaunee, Andrew Hans, WZMQ 19 News.
The first case of measles in Michigan has been detected in Oakland County. This year, close to 400 cases have been detected nationwide in both children and adults. Symptoms start with a fever, stuffy nose, cough, and red and itchy eyes. After a few days, a rash develops, starting at the head and spreading down the body. In some cases, symptoms can worsen, leading to brain and lung conditions that can be deadly. Pediatricians say as we head towards summer, rashes and fevers will be more common for kids, but they shouldn't be a cause for concern if the child is vaccinated.
If your child is vaccinated, they're protected. And when your child has a fever and a rash this summer, you don't necessarily need to worry that it's the measles. But like I said, if they have an immune compromising condition, then you might want to consider measles. And if you are worried, you should contact your doctor.
There's more information on measles on our website, WZMQ19.com. Last Tuesday, the Marquette County Board approved some updates to its off-road vehicle ordinances. Our John Truitt sat down with the Marquette County Sheriff's Department and explains the changes.
To bring Marquette County's off-road vehicle rules more in line with those of the state, the Marquette County Board approved some changes to its current ORV laws. The most significant changes allow greater access to the trail system by allowing ORV operators to travel on county roads in certain areas. Sheriff's Lieutenant Errol Lukarinen says this will make it easier to go from one trail network to another.
Big thing is it allows ORV operators to go to and from a trail and to use their ORVs on a far right portion of the roadway.
Lukarinen pointed out that although allowed on some roadways, these vehicles are not built for roads.
They still are ORVs. They're designed for off-road travel. They're not designed for roadway traffic.
With the growing popularity of more elaborate vehicles like side-by-sides, the county's new ordinance addresses the use of seatbelts, roll cages, and windshields.
And as long as you have an approved roll cage and you are wearing your seatbelt, you do not have to wear a DOT-approved helmet and eye protection, as long as your side-by-side would have a windshield.
Above all, safety is the most important aspect of operating an ORV. Proper training, being responsible, and riding within your abilities are essential.
Number one is make sure you got an ORV safety certificate. Go to some type of a safety course. We provide them through the Sheriff's Office, through Department of Natural Resources.
In Negaunee Township, John Truitt, WZMQ 19 News.
For more details on the new ordinance and the corresponding maps, you can again visit our website. Pope Francis is resting at the Vatican for the first time since being hospitalized for double pneumonia more than a month ago. Sunday, 88-year-old Francis appeared weak as he spoke from the balcony of his hospital shortly before being discharged. Chris Livesay has more from Rome.
It was a long-awaited hello. What became the longest hospital stay in Francis's papacy could very well have ended in goodbye. Thank you to everyone, the Pope said with a frail voice, then found time to compliment a woman with yellow flowers. It was the first time the public had laid eyes on the Pope in the flesh in more than 5 weeks.
It's a moment we didn't know if we would ever see.
Absolutely, yes. We were not sure about this, in which way it will go, but it seems that God listens to the prayers of the whole church.
Pope Francis may be coming out of the hospital, but he is not out of the woods. Doctors say he'll still need 2 months to recover, and he's going to have to avoid large crowds like this one. That is a big ask for the people's Pope. Francis made his hard-won exit in a trademark low-key papal white Fiat, waving from the window. We could see nasal tubes for the oxygen therapy he continues to receive, a reminder of how serious his condition remains. For weeks, the faithful gathered every night in St. Peter's Square to pray the rosary. Now, both his voice and his body reflect the toll of double pneumonia, but his spirit, his doctor said, remains unscathed. Pope Francis's doctors also said he nearly died on 2 separate occasions in the hospital. Remember, we, just like everyone here, were preparing for a possible papal funeral. But today, Pope Francis is stable and he is finally back home.
Tom DeVecchio has your first morning weather forecast when we come back. Plus, genetic testing company 23andMe has filed for bankruptcy. We'll hear what this means for customers. And we examine how tariffs put on Mexico is already affecting products, including tequila. More on that when we come back.
Save big and get an 11% rebate on everything when you shop at Menards. It's the perfect time to start planning for outdoor projects, and Menards is your destination for concrete landscape block. Shop our huge selection and create the perfect outdoor living space. Plus, get an 11% rebate. Finish your project with Loctite landscape construction adhesive. It works great for securing block, brick, stone, and more. Pick it up today for just $4.99 after 11% rebate.
Save big money at Menards.
Here's a business looking for a customer. Here's a customer looking for a business. And that's where the Better Business Bureau comes in. The BBB connects people with businesses they can trust. That's why 80% of people choose BBB accredited businesses over non-accredited ones with the same A+ letter rating. Live happily, better after. Always look for the sign of a better business because it's looking out for you. And find a better business anytime at bbb.org.
John's Auto is quickly becoming everybody's favorite place to get their car fixed. John's Auto is quickly becoming everybody's favorite place to fix their car. Was that right? For a better service experience, come to John's Auto Market. Why do I keep forgetting that word? Experience. Okay, go. For a better service experience, come to John's Auto Market.
And don't forget, Mr. Mattress here at Serta's Big Spring Sale, and it's going on now. There's extra discounts on all iComfort Pro mattresses and adjustable bases. Save up to $925. Zone Comfort design for full body alignment so you get a good night's sleep. At Shunks, we carry a full line of Serta mattresses that are all here for you to try. 22 different models and comfort levels to choose from. A nice plush queen-size perfect sleeper mattress is on sale for just $4.99. Shop Shunks at Marquette today.
Now, WZMQ TV19 First Warning Weather with meteorologist Tom DeVecchio.
Snow will be ending here in the Marquette area for the balance of tonight with more on and off snow showers. Maybe a little steadier off toward the east. Temperatures go up and then go back down again as we head on toward the upcoming weekend. That means we go from the snow for now to some milder weather, and then back to snow for the upcoming weekend, and we could see some decent amounts as well. If you missed this at 6, it deserves another look. Lightning strike. This is why we tell you not to go under a tree during a lightning storm. Look what happened. That blew up, okay, it literally exploded, split the tree in two, and you can see the shrapnel around it, okay? Classic case of lightning. It strikes the tree. It basically boils the tree sap, and the steam expands it explosively, and that's what you get. So during a lightning storm, don't get under a tree, okay? Cool video nonetheless, though. As kids go to school, no lightning in our forecast here. Some flurries when they go to school in the morning, going home in the afternoon, mostly cloudy skies. Temperatures will be in the lower 30s. Winds northwest and pretty brisk for tomorrow. Cold wind, to say the least, but we should be able to get close to freezing. Some leftover lake effect snow bands could be around with this before high pressure builds in to help lessen the winds. So you can see the band still going for the balance of tonight and through the day tomorrow. They'll be hanging around there toward the east. No big accumulations. Might even linger into tomorrow night, but by Wednesday the winds shift and the sun comes back out, and it will be more than likely the warmest day of the week. So snowfall outlook for the balance of tonight, maybe a couple of inches off toward the east, and perhaps another 1/2 to 1 inch elsewhere. Temperatures will be in the mid to upper 20s tonight, near 30 degrees for tomorrow, with those snow showers kind of hanging there, Munising and out toward Newberry. Low 40s on Wednesday, upper 30s Thursday, getting colder as we head toward the weekend, with some wet snow likely. Expect some accumulations for Saturday into Sunday.
Tom, thanks again. The genetic testing company 23andMe has filed for bankruptcy protection, and its CEO has resigned. Nancy Chen tells us what that means for its nearly 15 million customers worldwide.
You always wonder, who does make you who you are?
We've all seen the commercials. Since 23andMe was founded nearly 20 years ago, 15 million people have mailed their saliva and about $100 to the biotech company. In return, they've gotten back their genetic heritage, health reports, and surprise connections with long-lost family. Now in bankruptcy, the company will likely be sold.
I do think this is a privacy nightmare.
Jenny Foz with Consumer Reports says customers' genetic information could be part of a corporate sale.
In this data, there could be clues about diseases that you have or diseases you may be predisposed to. And what that means as far as how it impacts your life and your pocketbook is that you could end up getting charged more for insurance coverage, or in some cases, you could even be flat out denied coverage based on your genetics.
Simply because of your DNA.
It's hard to know who will gain access to this data.
Once worth $6 billion, the company has lost 98% of its value.
Headlines say you're fighting for survival.
Gail King interviewed co-founder Ann Wojcicki last November.
We're doing all kinds of things for the first time. So we will make mistakes, 100% admit all of that, but we will always, my commitment to the world has always been, I will always learn from my mistakes.
Those mistakes cost her her job. 23andMe assures customers it will delete their genetic material if they ask, saying in a statement, data privacy will be an important consideration in any potential transaction.
What should people know moving forward?
People should know that genetic information is highly sensitive, that any institution that has your genetic information could have a different future than what you're imagining right now.
The on-again and off-again 25% tariff on Mexican products already has one industry paying the price. Businesses and consumers are stockpiling tequila amid the tariff uncertainty. Donnie Bacchus shows how it affects businesses and your wallet.
If a margarita is your drink of choice, the possibility of tariffs could be shaking up the price.
As a Mexican restaurant, margaritas is very important.
At La Contenta Oeste in New York, they're already preparing for the impact of a 25% tariff on goods from Mexico.
I have around 90 cases of tequila.
Owner and chef Luis Mota says he usually buys about 20 cases of tequila and mezcal at a time. But since January, he's ordered about a 6-month supply, and he's not alone. Exports of tequila from Mexico to the U.S. jumped 35% in January and 25% in February compared to last year.
We have Mexican products here. We sell nothing but Mexican products.
In Los Angeles, management at Las Perlas Bar is waiting to see if the tariff, which has been paused until April while President Trump is in talks with Mexico's president, will be implemented. If so,
for us, it's going to be a straightforward thing. We either raise the prices, or we take the hit.
Analysts say even if the tariffs are not imposed, the uncertainty has already cost the tequila sector money and could cause a temporary slowdown in sales of the billion-dollar industry.
President Trump is expected to make a final decision on tariffs by April 2nd. Still to come on your 19 News, there's a new effort to produce diamonds, but with a twist. We'll hear how one company plans to do it in space. We'll be right back.
19 News is brought to you by Kirkish Furniture.
Imagine yourself in a new Toyota.
Hey, there he is. Let's do this.
Hey, you ready? Yeah.
You're up, guys. All right.
Save on the adventurous best-selling RAV4 with 4.99 APR financing, or lease a gas-powered RAV4 LE for $339 a month with 2 years no-cost maintenance.
Go from dreaming it to driving it today.
Yeah.
Come on.
Toyota, let's go places.
Chips or cracks, we got your back. Brian's Auto Glass.
Introducing Brian's Auto Glass, now in Nagani. Your trusted experts in auto glass repair and replacement. When it comes to your vehicle's glass, trust the experts at Brian's Auto Glass. Our highly trained technicians handle everything from window replacements to fixing those annoying chips. At Brian's Auto Glass, we're committed to quality and precision, ensuring your safety on the road. Visit us today at our new location at 6 Industrial Drive in Nagani, or call us at 906-233-4527.
Closed captioning sponsored by Range Bank of Upper Michigan.
This is a powerful place. In this chamber, decisions are made every day. Decisions that impact your life, your friends, family, and neighbors. Your life can be changed by what happens here. I'm 19 News' Michigan Capitol correspondent, Sophia Murphy. I report to you, tracking votes, new laws, and policies that change lives in the Upper Peninsula. The only place to see what's happening in Lansing is right here.
Sophia Murphy reports, only on WZMQ 19 News.
Direct.
Don't you ever look up at the sky and roll your eyes. You hear me?
Yes.
Realistic.
I will maybe have a tendency to spend too much and won't be able to pay your rent.
He holds the line.
I resent it, and I resent you for doing it.
Mathis Court is in session.
Weekdays on WZMQ CBS. You're watching WZMQ 19 News, live and local, with Kevin Hodge.
Welcome back, everyone. A group of engineers says the next industrial revolution may not happen on Earth, but in space, as a tech company launches a new mission to create diamonds out of this world. Tina Kraus has more from London.
2, 1.
With space exploration reaching new heights,
And liftoff.
a British tech company wants diamonds to take their place among the stars. Space Forge is launching a mission from the U.S., hoping to develop diamonds in orbit.
By growing them in a chamber that's basically a very fancy microwave. We put gases in, we turn the microwave on, and we grow a crystal of material. And that crystal that we're growing, at least to start with, is diamonds.
Researchers say the space-grown gems won't be used in jewelry, but for high-tech applications such as heat conductors for electric vehicles and telecommunications.
The advantage that we have is that rather than doing that on the ground, we're actually making that material in space, where the conditions with no gravity and no atmosphere are perfect for that material.
Perfect, engineers say, because the diamonds will have a purity not found on Earth, where contaminants from the atmosphere can affect the process. Liftoff is set for next month, with Space Forge betting on the cosmic gems as a driving force for future technology.
To make sure the diamonds get back to Earth safely, engineers at Space Forge developed an origami heat shield called Pridwin after King Arthur's shield. It will unfurl to keep intense heat away from the precious cargo. Bird watching isn't just for older folks anymore. People of all ages hatched the hobby during the pandemic. Christiane Benavides introduces us to a young birder who's helping other kids train their eyes on the skies.
Yeah, the blue-winged teals, they're basically modeled.
15-year-old Sophia Hackman may not look like a typical birder, but she's part of a growing number of young people who during the pandemic found their way outside through bird watching.
There's millions of bird species out there, so there's never-ending achievements.
Hackman heads up the Minnesota chapter of the Florida Young Birders Club, organizing bird walks across Florida's west coast.
It's very, very exciting. Really birding, it's a lot about luck. Today was very lucky. We got more species than normal, 3 birds that I don't normally see here. To share that excitement with other people It's a lot of fun.
While most bird watchers in the U.S., some 77 million, are age 45 and older, younger people are taking up the hobby.
I definitely think COVID had a lot to do with that. Especially young families, you had to get out of your house or everybody was going to go crazy.
A national survey by the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service found the number of 16 and 17-year-olds observing wildlife near their home jumped from 1 million in 2016 to more than 3 million in 2022.
This is a short-tailed hawk.
15-year-old bird watcher Roland Bendever usually joins in on the walks with his camera.
Getting the shot in the camera, like there is nothing better than knowing that you nailed a photo.
Group bird walks take place with parents not far behind, engaging kids as young as 9-year-old Ari Bendever.
I feel like it's really fun to draw birds.
A hobby taking flight with a new generation.
Other character-building benefits to birdwatching: practicing your patience and determination. Since 1978, the Marquette Beautification and Restoration Committee has focused on preserving natural assets in the surrounding community. This year, the committee has started an endowment fund to raise money towards the cost of flowers, soil supplements, and other garden maintenance needs. These funds will benefit their many traditions held every summer, such as Petunia Pandemonium, where local schools will plant hundreds of flowers along Highway 41.
Petunia Pandemonium is a 2-day event where we plant flowers along the south entrance along Highway 41 as you come into Marquette. And it's become a tradition for people who live here, and they're like, well, if they're like me, they're like, oh, I hope I get a red light so I can just stop and look at the flowers there.
This year's Petunia Pandemonium will be held on June 6th and 7th. A new true crime series drops onto Paramount Plus and in theaters this week, the biopic of the doctor who pioneered the Ronald McDonald House Charities. Bradley Blackburn has your Ein Entertainment.
You'll be able to apply for funding in about a year.
My children don't have a year.
The real-life story of a trailblazing pediatrician hits the big screen this week. Dr. Audrey Evans pioneered life-saving treatments for young cancer patients and co-founded the first Ronald McDonald House. The film, Audrey's Children, spotlights the British expat's relentless spirit.
We have the opportunity to change the course of a deadly disease.
Oh, good grief. Have you lost your mind?
Natalie Dormer, who plays Dr. Evans, met her a few weeks before she died at age 97 in 2022.
And I held her hand and I talked to her. And I just think it's a once-in-a-lifetime experience as an actress to actually be talking to the person that you're going to portray, and that you feel such a weight of responsibility to portray because they are such a trailblazing, strong, incredible, industry-defining human being.
Audrey's Children opens Friday.
What's this victim's name?
Paramount Plus subscribers can now watch the first 2 episodes of the true crime drama series Happy Face. Dennis Quaid plays an incarcerated serial killer who says he'll admit to more crimes if he can confess them to his daughter in person.
You wanted us here to talk about a murder, now we're here, so talk.
Annalee Ashford plays Melissa Moore, the real-life daughter who is also an executive producer on the series.
She's a really incredible woman, and her advocacy work was really exceptional and something that I wanted to be a part of sharing with the world.
There's something that makes me different.
And Disney's Coco is getting a sequel. The Walt Disney Company announced Pixar Animation Studios is working on Coco 2 now and hopes to have it in theaters by 2029.
Tom DeVecchio gives us a final look at weather when we come back. Don't go away.
Big spring deals. Up to 50% off list prices during the huge spring home sale at Slumberland Furniture. Elevate your living room comfort for just $4.95. Get a new modern look for just $5.95. Or relax and recline for just $4.99. Add a classic upgrade to your bedroom for just $3.60. Plus, so much more. Like up to 50% off during our big Sealy floor model closeout. And totally free shipping with no minimum. Shop now at the huge spring home sale at Slumberland.
Getting ready, we all have our routine. Finding an outfit. Fixing your hair. And all the other little touches. Gum, check. Keys? Check. Phone? Check. But of all the things you remember to bring with you, naloxone could be the most important. It can reverse an opioid overdose. You can get it without a prescription in most states, and it's really easy to use. If you or someone you know is at risk for opioid overdose, naloxone could save their life. Keep it on you and at home. For more information about naloxone, visit cdc.gov/stop-overdose.
Today, we bring you the profile of a hero, Marine Private First Class Gomer Pyle.
Heroes come in all shapes and sizes, but this hero is a musical Marine. Gomer Pyle. Weeknights at 9:30 on MeTV 19.1.
Futurecast for the balance of tonight. Lake effect will continue. Not so much in Marquette, more in Munising out toward the Newberry area just west of Sault Ste. Marie. And that will continue through the night and probably to some extent into Tuesday, another 1 to 3 in those areas. But here in Marquette, expecting less than an inch of additional accumulations through the end of the day tomorrow. Wednesday, some sunshine comes in, and that will allow for some milder temperatures. Wednesday will be the warmest day of the week. So here's how much snow we expect into a daybreak tomorrow. Again, couple spots may get a couple inches. Most of you, though, getting an inch or less. Highs near 30, low 40s on Wednesday. Still nice on Thursday, then getting colder for Friday. And looks like we'll see some wet snow and expect at least some accumulations for the weekend and possibly into Monday as well. Kevin, back to you.
Tom, thanks again. Finally tonight, a new partnership between DoorDash and Klarna lets customers eat now and pay later. Customers who use the DoorDash app will see an option to pay with Klarna. They can select pay in full, pay in 4 equal interest-free payments on a bill of $35 or more, or defer payment to a time that aligns with your paycheck, for example. But what does the price of convenience say about our consumer culture?
You used to see buy now, pay later used for these bigger ticket items, high-end things like furniture and electronics. The fact that people are using this now for groceries, for gas, for everyday items. I think where it gets tough, though, is you get into this mindset of, oh, I have more room in my budget.
Right. When you really don't.
Exactly.
And that's all the time we have for tonight, folks. We'll see you again tomorrow.
Update your home with new GE appliances from Kirkish Furniture and Houghton. GE appliances are built to last, have print-resistant finishes, and offer high performance with energy efficiency. Kirkish has a large selection for both kitchen and laundry. Free delivery and 0% financing.
I thought it was just a rash.